Welcome back, friends, to APAC North. We kick it off with our match of the day for the first game of our 6th and penultimate play day. Cyclops versus Damwon Kia to kick it off. And we just teased about it in our pre-show, but now we'll dig deeper into the numbers because Damwon Kia, they got some explosive players on the line on this lineup.
Yeah. I think it goes without saying at this point. I think it's Damwon Kia. It's Damwon Mo flippin' Kia. Everybody knows them. They've introduced themselves and then gone above and beyond that. They're currently undefeated. They've had some amazing performances. They've generally set the pace. Their biggest blow was a -3 over the stage 1. They haven't had a blow this time round. It's been fights that they've been able to sort of fly their flag, and let's be real, okay, a major performance wasn't in their best bet. They didn't quite have Yas as the superstar player on a roster, but you look at the rest of them who have stepped in. You're looking at Coated, you're looking at Wookieman especially, and then a bit of a return over the past couple of games for Yas. Yeah, they're pretty good, Milosh.
This is a team of, I call them a team of superstars, where everyone can step up and go nuclear at a point in time. But they're a team as well. First and foremost, they're a team and they operate as a team. And, you know, but for the system of the playoffs in stage 1, they would have gone to the Charlotte Major. So that would have been 3 consecutive majors plus, you know, because they finished first of APAC North in stage 1. It was just that the playoffs and whatever happened in the playoffs.
Semi-finals, so, yeah, quarterfinalists at Invitational.
You know, they got reverse swept by, it was by Cyclops, right, for Charlotte Major in the playoffs. But what I'm saying is this is a really high quality team that is just filled with individual excellence that operate as one unit.
The only one that you kind of sit on the side and think, they're a bit more silent than the rest of the team is Katsang, but that's because his job isn't to be showing up, whereas all the other 4 are really finding the spots that are there. But onto their opponents, Cyclops, who also have their hearts in their hands and also the potential to still make it to the major, but they have to go through the best team in the entire region, arguably.
Cyclops play against 2 teams. They play against their opponents and they play against themselves. And I think that's just a constant about them.
Yeah, you could call it randomness, but they play their brand of Siege. And it's amazing to watch. It's fun to watch. They're great with shields. They're great with literally all of the utility that they can use. Absolutely everything. Operator lineups, it's funky as hell. The problem is that it creates them is inconsistency. And we see them time to time to time. They're not just this team that through 2020, start 2021, could just turn up and beat everybody in the league. They simply can't anymore. So they need to find that baseline level of consistency to Cyclops.
I mean, the consistency is they're just all over the place.
Consistently inconsistent, right?
Yes. That's in scores and also in the game, which plays into people's minds. Maybe that'll help against Damwon Kia. But maybe the map will play a bit more of a role than we even think. It's a 9-map pool, 8 are out, 1 is left, and our lobby is set and done, so we should be ready to go within the next couple of minutes. Where we're going to head to, who has the final say? That'll be Damwon Kia. They ban out Oregon and take us to Skyscraper. There's the variety that you're looking for, Jack. And they're starting off on attack. Cyclops have opted for defense.
And it's kind of curious for them because they've gone to a new map, and I'm not surprised at the map because it's Cyclops' #1 map preference, it's Damwon Kia's #2 map preference. So for me, the Skyscraper as a map was always in consideration, and if you're Cyclops, you give yourself the absolute best chance by going to your best map, right? Start on the defense, but they've got to get out good because Damwon Kia on this map, their attacking is so in sync and they're so decisive with their movements. You know, they do the office side take karaoke and then very quickly rotate to Black Stairs. And it's so decisive, it's so fast, and they've hit you and attacked you before you even know it's coming. Cyclops need to get on top of that. This was one of the maps that I think Damwon Kia got reverse swept on in the APAC playoffs last stage as well against Cyclops. So they've got history on this map.
It's a grudge match. It's a bit of revenge. You stopped us getting to the major last time. You sort of limited our own. You hit us with a reverse sweep. So this time we're going to end your dreams, ruin your hopes, take 3 points. That's the Damwon Kia game. They're not going to mess around with this. And, you know, it's down to Cyclops.
If we go to overtime in this,
yes.
Can you recap for people that didn't watch the pre-show? What is it like if we go to overtime?
Well, it's 3 rounds, and you have to try and win 2 of them.
And now,
thank you, Emmy. Jack?
So if you go to overtime, the ramifications for the major, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Milosh, is that if Damwon Kia get a legitimate win A win in either regulation or overtime, they confirm themselves to the major. Doesn't matter. Cyclops, overtime would be disastrous for them. It would still leave them a chance, but it's a statistical chance. It's not an actual chance. So they have to get the full 3 points to Cyclops. Now, it's worth saying, like I said, the history in Stage 1 playoffs, it was 7-5 to Cyclops on this map. So it's a very close game between the two of them.
All right, maybe we'll get a close one here. Who's more hungry in this matchup? Who wants it more than the other, as we've been saying in AU, though? Fresh, Emmy, thank you very much. Let's toss it to our casters. It's CAG versus Damwon Kia. Basically, the winner keeps it on for Berlin. Toss it. They got Ace and Des. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Milosh. As they were saying on the desk, Tim, it's a big game for the major here coming up.
It is a big game.
You can speak now. It's okay.
It's a really...
You don't have to wait for me to say more. I know I do normally talk a lot, but you are a part of this duo.
It's a really big game for the major. As you say, this could decide it all. Damwon Kia winning regulation. Cyclops will be going nowhere near it. So they have to come out. It's an absolute must-win for them, and it's going to be huge. We're going to Skyscraper, and we're going to see these two face off. This, for me, is always one of the games of the stage. I always look forward to this matchup. Maybe not as much this time because Cyclops really have dropped off a little bit this stage, been sort of struggling to find their identity a little bit. It's been a lack of consistency. You know, we want to see a bit more out of Cyclops. Damwon Kia, they've been as good as ever, and I'm expecting a big day from them.
Absolutely. For me, this is one of the ones where you say if they win this one, they lock it in, they're done. For Cyclops, this is the last chance saloon. It feels weird to be getting towards the end of a stage and not be talking about Cyclops being a... not guaranteed, but being in with a very good shot at making it to the major, and that's sort of the concern. I'm pretty sure Sandbox have got Damwon Kia next week as well, so if Cyclops can get anything from this game, and Sandbox don't have the best showing today, suddenly things start to look very, very exciting. Thatcher, the first one taken off the board by Cyclops.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to look at Damwon Kia's, matchup list, really, the schedule over the stage, and it's been reasonably favourable for them. It's allowed them to get to a position whereby they've got the difficult matches right at the end, and really, they've already got the points on the board that they need. So, now... it just sort of almost serves as a great warm-up, doesn't it? Like, you get yourself to the major pretty much, and then you have two really tough teams at the end of the stage, and you're going in like guns hot, ready for, ready for anything in the major. So fantastic for them. We're going to have the bands coming in. Thatcher, Finker, Valkyrie will be our first three to go. Kaid will join as well. So that is how it's going to be.
Yeah, expect to see a Kaid if you see a Thatcher band come through. Just touching on the Finker for a second, because some might look at it and go, well, Damwon start on the attack. Why would they ban away the Finker when they can just use it themselves? I think for a number of teams, you just see how it lifts some teams up that rely on the kind of craziness in a way. Thinking about Cyclops, they absolutely love aggression, right? They'll happily just charge you and hope for the very best. And Finker really enables you to do that. That extra stim that you get, the nades, the Gon 6, the LMG, it brings so much to a team. If you as a team feel that you can survive without that, running something like an Iana, and we all know that Yas is a very capable Iana player, take that kind of extra buff away from the other team, and you don't feel like you're particularly handicapping yourself in the process. It's not at all a bad ban.
Round number one then, we get into things. We're going to be heading down to Kitchen and Barbecue to kick things off. Drone just going in, having a little look. We'll secure the information of where the site is, and then Damwon Kia just getting it back away through the drone hole in bathroom to keep it safe and keep themselves with as much information as possible. We've got the double frost mat on the window. It's not one that we see quite as often anymore. We went through a spell of the double frost mat being really popular. Obviously, it means that you've got a choice coming through that window. Which one do you shoot out? It's difficult in the time to get both of them. Nigh on impossible, so it's just really sort of securing that area. But a nade or anything popped in through there will deal with both of them, of course. But saying that, such a popular bit of utility at the minute, but only 2 nades being brought along here. Just on the Iana of Yas, and we've got courted on the Blitz.
Yeah, no sledge. I think because everything really is leaning into this Blitz play, right? You're not trying to nade from below and then send the Blitz in. You're using the Blitz in the early round to get that suppression, the suppression and the aggression down across the top floor. I imagine that's the game plan here, is you want to break this top floor hold quite quickly. A good way to get nice and aggressive is with the Blitz. Just charge in, rush someone down, flash them out, and hopefully get it cleared through. Not starting the best way, though. Rin already going down to a spawn peep from Black Ray.
Yeah, talking of aggressive, that was absolutely beautiful use of that aggression. Clash going to be forced back there with the air jab being deployed. Just Anaton knowing that he needs to be careful about how far he pushes forward. Going to get flashed out, but that's not really going to do much because, of course, that electricity is going to tick away damage on Courted, so it's something that he's got to be careful of, but manages to push past the clash and get the kill onto the Aruni. Nice start from Courted.
Beautiful start, yeah. Great use of the smoke as well to make it safe to go for the cross. Yeah, sometimes you kind of see the utility in Blitz's back pocket as not quite a waste, but not really something you'd look to be using, but he's used it excellently there. Really good intention behind it as well, making a great solo play and basically removing 2 players from the picture straight away.
Courted still waiting to try and assist in dealing with this clash, I think, but maybe the call comes that it's time to push away. But then I'm not sure that they were aware that there was a second man above them there inside of Karaoke, so the rotation being opened up and the Blitz comes back to continue this push, but of course needs to be careful. As I said, can't really go face to face with the clash. Woogieman on the cover just sees the man rotate around him, and they're just like moving parts that aren't quite catching each other here as Cyclops rotate into T, Woogieman into top of Black Stairs, but they just don't pass each other. Gatorada still looking for those angles, but unable to find the Blitz yet.
I think he's got downstairs at this point as well, which is why, yeah, now he's going to open up more angles. A good one being opened up here. Oh, and here comes the clash as well. Can't fight both angles at once. Great little pincer coming in, but arguably a little bit over-aggressive from Annington there, not respecting that Woogie was still out on Shrine Balcony.
Not often that Annington gets out-shielded, but that's exactly what we see from Courted. Yas managing to find Suzushi, and despite that early death to Rin, Damwon Kia have looked great in this round, just going through one problem at a time, one puzzle they go in and solve, and then on to the next. Gatorada still top 4, trying to fight against Woogieman, just peeks away at the wrong time there, does manage to take a good bit of damage away from him though, but Woogieman, he's going to drop himself down the stairs and
gotta go.
He's going to have to follow him. He does manage to get the kill locked in. Gatorada also taking off the Selma device, and with 7 seconds left to go, that could be important here. Keeps the verticality. They're going to have to find a plant, and they're not going to. As the final kills come in, Gatorada, Black Ray, Burnout, the time, and Cyclops almost from nowhere managed to close out round 1.
Yeah, I think it was a really good start to the round from Damwon Kia. Like you say, coming back from the early spawn peak, fantastic. But kind of stalled out a little bit. All their focus was on Black Stairs, trying to get the wall open. You saw the Ace Selma charge get shot off at the very end as well. That was their ticket in towards getting a plant down with cover being held from elsewhere. But once that play came through from the Frost, getting rid of the Ace, that's when everything really fell apart. Almost like Damwon Kia had like a single plan they were pushing for and no real alternative, unfortunately. But it was an offsite. Give him that for the starting first round.
I think Courted just went a bit too soon. They needed Courted upstairs to deal with Gatorada. You know, he'd already pushed 2 of the top floor players really well, dealt with the Aruni, dealt with the clash. If he supports Woogieman up on the top floor and they get rid of the Frost, then the wall gets open that they want. They can move in and put the diffuser down. You know, all sorts of things start happening there. But allowing Gatorada to continue playing in Geisha, pushing forward into corridor, was the sum total of the problem there, and that's where the turnaround came from for Cyclops. So Damwon Kia maybe could have just done with a little bit more time on that top floor, but time was the factor, of course. It was ticking by at that point, so you know, maybe something that just needed dealing with earlier in the round. But we head into round number 2 then. We're going to see T and Karaoke defended by Cyclops this time.
Interestingly, you got the Glads bringing along the frags here as well. So we only got 2 smokes on side for him to utilize, but I imagine the game plan here is Woogie gets in top black, Kota gets in Karaoke window, Monty throws out those smokes, and then they make use of those to go for a plant whilst Glass provides the cover. So again, it's all kind of spinning on the dime of this single play that they've engineered this comp to do. The difference obviously being with 4 frag grenades on side, they can afford to play from below if desired to soften things up on site itself and then look for the plants.
Woogieman is going to be bringing the shield this time rather than Courted. As you say, Courted on that Glass just supporting. Woogieman going to be going to get in there and bullet again any roamers, particularly maybe trying to push into Dragon side, trying to clear out that approach. But for the time being, we've got a couple of players on Repel. Irrigator's looking to make a nuisance of himself downstairs. Needs to be drones, needs to be found because they saw him in that area. But as I say, the push largely actually going to come into the top of Black Stairs here as Woogieman looks to get a little bit of control over that area.
Entirely expected, like I mentioned earlier on. The Monty comes in through here. You probably want to try and move your Glass onto Karaoke window. At this point, the line is there. So maybe what they want to do instead is have Kota kind of cover off the hallway itself by getting into top black and holding that down. I'd just be slightly nervous of what might come in from below if they're not too careful. Rin holding on this angle here, just trying to pepper his way through towards T to keep them under a little bit of threat. But again, Damwon's Kia attack, it looks very orchestrated here. You can see exactly what the plan is from second one.
Very aware that there's a potential for a jump out there as we saw the Claymore just being ineffective there, just being caught up very probably in a mute jammer from Suzushi. So they just need to be aware of that potential for a run out. Wookieman looking to potentially get into a planting position here if he continues. He's got the frost up in his face at the minute. Obviously, the big shieldy boy is not going to be too afraid of that. He's got a shield fully extended at the minute, so he can just feed that information back in.
There's no denial also on the side of Cyclops outside of a couple of impacts. Everything else is shields and bulletproof, so no C4s to worry about. Here's that smoke I'm on about, and this is where Kota can really start to shine. But getting in and getting this plant down could be the real challenge here. No matter where he goes, he might be seen. There it is in the hallway with some great cover. Down goes Anaton and Diagator. Nade's coming out to stop them running on the way through, and Woogie gets the plant off. A beautiful block out by Damwon Kia, shutting Cyclops away, and they get the plant down.
What a silky smooth execution that was. Absolutely brilliant from Damwon Kia. Rim manages to get a kill, getting involved in the round this time after being taken out early last time. BlackRay is fighting tooth and nail from inside a site, but this is the problem. You've got a diffuser down and you've got a Monty in your face. Gonna have to try and maneuver, gonna have to try and jostle for position here, but likely to be taken down on the stairs. Just manages to survive as Courted misses that last shot as he goes down, but he's got him covered. Katsang finds the kill. Rin with a second. And Damwon Kia managing to lock out round 2. Much better than round 1 for them.
A really good evolution to the usual take that you see employed in rank sometimes, right? The whole up on the window, glass there, smokes in, plant just inside the window, then back out the window again. Putting all the big focus on getting in through the rotate, getting the plant down, but the real beauty in that play for me was the play inside of the hallway itself. Again, the glass not being thrown on the window where your angles are somewhat limited, but instead being in the hallway, you can completely deny the cross, both with the nades and with the gun through the smoke. That's 2 rounds in a row that we've seen Damwon Kia utilize smokes at the top of Black, mind you, to block off as much of hallway as possible. I imagine every single time we see them playing around there, you'll just see more and more of that coming into play, because 2 rounds in a row now, it's either got them a kill or got the plant down.
Going to be moving sites this time. Cyclops choosing, and absolutely no surprise, because, you know, what do you do against the attack that they've just seen there? It starts becoming very difficult to deal with. So they decide rather than that, they're going to head over to the opposite side of the map. It's going to be Office and Exhibition this time. As you say, once again, not a lot in terms of denial. We've got a lot of utility in terms of information. 2 bulletproof cameras. We've got the shield, which I would argue, as well as closing down lanes, can also be informational if you've got a player playing in behind them as well. And then 2 nitros is going to be the entire denial for the plant going down. But we've got an aggressive run out here. I mean, Suzushi takes a little shot over the balcony there, but you're going to have to be very lucky with that. I think maybe actually just trying to take a little bit of attention so that the focus wasn't on Ayagator.
Quite possibly, yeah, but that's, again, just classic Kagaki. I spoke about this a little bit on... We did a podcast, yes, we spoke about it there. We speak about it most APAC days and also across an EUL, in saying Japanese teams are hyper-aggressive. They'll be at every window and doorway waiting for you. Spawn peek in round 1. We've had 2 of them try and go for a cheeky peek at the very start of a round here. They are making sure that Damwon Kia are having to fight for every part of the map, which is probably why in the first couple of rounds you saw Damwon Kia focus on a very narrow slither of the map, not worry about trying to wrestle control away out towards Exhibition and Office, for example, in the last round. Here, they've been greeted already at the windows. They're going to be mindful of that if they are going to try and go for a full clear.
Going to have the bulletproof camera just out towards reception as well. So it's going to be difficult for Damwon Kia to build anything here without Cyclops knowing exactly what they're doing. But the problem that Cyclops faces, of course, Damwon Kia hitting those shots in round 2. And if that continues, they could be in trouble. First nitro goes out unsuccessfully. Doesn't take any damage off Wookieman at all. There's the second. Even with the information from the pulse, it wasn't sufficient to get the job done. Courted opened things up with a kill onto Suzushi. Traded out by BlackRay, and Gatorada gets one sandwiched in the middle, takes a tasty bite out of Damwon Kia and leaves us now in a 4v3.
Even with those C4s not working, they still walk away with the numbers advantage. The early round generally has been really good by Cyclops across these 3 rounds. Last one, maybe a little less so in terms of how things really kicked off, but it's good to see them being willing to challenge Damwon Kia. Because one thing we spoke about a lot last year is teams come up against big teams like Damwon Kia, and they get the fear of God in them. They're scared of what they can achieve. They might get pinched on, so they can't play too aggressively. Whereas Cyclops don't care who they're against. They will play this kind of aggressive aggressive style, and so far it's working, at least in round 3.
Certainly is. Black Ray just going to be playing in behind that shield at the minute. Has taken a little bit of damage, but should be okay to hold the angle. It's going to be a difficult challenge onto him. And as you said, DWG just trying to get themselves established inside of the map at the minute. It's not something that they've been able to do. We're talking 40 seconds left to go. We've had a full rotate over to trying to get into reception and maybe a more direct push towards site. But the difficulty they're going to have is the mute jammers once again. Suzushi might be dead, but his job is still being done. Katsang manages to find Gatarada. The nade will clear off the mute jammer, but with only 25 seconds left to go, this is late.
This is the problem, right? I'm getting round 1 flashbacks at this point, Tim. You've got no control of sight, no real information, and essentially no time to play into here. I get it on a bit of a run out. Katsang round the side, finds his second man. 3v2, they've managed to pull it back to this point, Tim, but the clock is not on their side. They get one down. Anaton, the last left standing against 2. They haven't got the diffuser. Yas picks it up, but can he get the plant down in time? Yes, he can start sticking. Woogieman has to win this, and he wins it out. DWG dragging that round back from the grave.
Absolutely unbelievable from DWG. 26 seconds left to go when they really get things moving there. And they even had, Cyclops even had Anaton downstairs on the pulse feeding the information. He was giving the locations of almost every DWG player that was left, but still the gunfights could not be won. And DWG somehow managed to snatch that victory out of the jaws of defeat with fractions of seconds left to go.
Literally fractions as well. What, 4 seconds? And then Yas picks up the diffuser. I was like, oh no, surely it can go all wrong from here. But they just about narrowly hold on. For me, again, the big MVP of that round had to be Katsang out on the balcony. He was being challenged twice. Once from the kind of display cabinet window, and then once on a run out. And he won both of those 1 versus 1. You see the first on the right-hand side of your screen here. Although they didn't really feel like they were massively impactful to the execute, the fact that he won those made sure they had a good amount of pressure still outside there for the longest time, and you've taken guns away from Cyclops. If those 2 players weren't playing so aggressively there's maybe a world where they hold on a little bit longer, and that round still goes their way. So fair play to Katsang.
Heading into round number 4, well, and DWG, despite losing the first round, now found themselves in the lead, having taken the last 2. So I'm going to little rinse and repeat from Cyclops here, and DWG, as you say, bringing the same process, but this time we've got Yas on the Flores. Not going to matter, though. Not going to matter.
I was going to say...
Way to end that conversation, Black Ray, thanks!
I was basically going to say, look at back in round 1, it was Rin taken off the board right away, and the only change they make in this round is that Yas comes on the Flores away from the Iana. Clearly a game plan coming in behind that. Yeah, now it means literally nothing. It's exactly the same as last round now in terms of the ops that we've still got on the board.
Oh, caster's life. Right, on we go. 5 versus 4. Cyclops with a great start there because, as you say, obviously whatever DWG was doing, whatever their adaptation was going to be, was based around that Flores, and it was likely moving the clash on quite quickly will have been a part of it. Oh, Kota just can't get in there quick enough to try and deal with that clash despite the air jab going off. So Anaton, he's just going to get brave now, pushing out and bullying, and he will continue doing that. Flash comes in, makes his life a bit more difficult, but behind the shield it still doesn't matter too much. Another air jab goes off, but Gatarada on the cover. The aggression from Cyclops here, Des.
I absolutely love it. It's like we said, this is the sort of play style they like to have, but I've never seen a team go this ridiculously aggressive until Anaton gets himself exposed towards the side there. Bit of a misplay.
I think Anaton just goes a little bit too far. 1 minute 30 left to go, and now you've got a Blitz who's going to push 2 players. Ayagator and Gatarada have to work in tandem here. They have to keep each other alive, because otherwise this Blitz will go through them like a hot knife through butter.
That's half the round down, though, at this point. This is that smoke coming out once again to try and cut out 1 player, and Ayagator makes the safe call. Don't back away down the stairs. Run towards your teammate to keep yourself alive. So they always had that ability to play trades. Good learning from round 1.
Much better from Cyclops. DWG just got somebody lurking down near the bar there. Rin just going to sit and wait for the opportunity. Any rotations around site and they're going to get themselves cut out. In fact, Rin starts moving, creeping in towards site, looking for that direct line. Going to find one if he pops up here, but just maybe moves on to the door. Absolute freebie onto Ayagator, and then Rin just smart, kills, moves, keeps them guessing, and that's man advantage now for DWG.
Definitely the question being asked, how the hell's he got there then? He's literally crouched walk his way from coat through to bar, got himself inside a pantry, gone across towards site, all without being picked up, and that's what things like bullet bulletproofs on side as well, with the wee woos, as Fresh calls them, coming out of Black Ray as well. I'm surprised he managed to get to where he got to, but likely a good part of that came from those shock drones, removing the gadgetry that would have picked him up otherwise. So again, smart play from Damwon.
Damwon Kia not really dealing with the verticality here. With 15 seconds left to go, they know that the option is push site and put the diffuser down, and that's what they're going to go for. But Suzushi does get downed. Black Ray, however, does manage to find Woogieman, and that's going to put him on the flank potentially here as he drops down. They got to find this kill. It's up to Rin, and Rin does it as consistent as ever in the gunfight. Kota gets the diffuser down, while Gatorada takes the opportunity to pick up Suzushi. 2v3.
Much better as well. 2 plants across 4 rounds and a big 3K coming out for Rin before finally being shut down by Gatorada. But he's got to do it against 2. One of them being a blitz. We speak so many times about 1v1s or 1vx's where there's still a Monty alive on the other side, and we know they don't go well. It's exactly the same story against a blitz, because whilst you may have retaken the site, both of these players are now able to move onto the upstairs and play from above. But they can just hold this lovely angle, sat behind a shield. You can try and defuse it off, but we all know exactly how this ends, with a pistol to the head. Damwon Kia find round 4.
Exactly that. Beautiful use of the shield at the end there. Just informational, really. We don't have a drone on the diffuser. It doesn't matter. We've got a shield on it, and we can keep an eye on things. So well played from Damwon Kia there once again, able to get that diffuser down despite vertical pressure being maintained this time from Cyclops. And I tell you what, that first round looked pretty good for Cyclops, but after that it seems to be falling apart.
Oh boy. Okay, I mean, what I've really enjoyed so far is this has felt like a really quality game. I've really enjoyed what we've seen from both teams. And the thing is, some might look at the aggression coming out of Cyclops, like Anton dying there on Shrine Balcony, and go, well, that's not good play. Sure, it's a bit over-aggressive, but I'd rather them try and pull that sort of stuff off than never even try it and wonder, oh, would that have made any difference? Sure, if he stayed alive longer there at the top of Black, they wait another 30 seconds or so, it's a very different conversation that we're having about that round. But I think overall, the way that they were moving back when the smoke came through from the Blitz, it's just smart play from both teams and really enjoyable to watch.
Karaoke team, can they do anything better here is the question. The one thing Damwon haven't done is brought on the glass again. Woogieman will be on the Montagna. We're going to have the ace of Katsang, so we're likely going to see a similar push and a similar plant attempt. But the question is, how do they manage it in the same way without the glass? Courted is going to do some of that work with air jabs, I would imagine, to try and stop the push coming back through onto them. And also Rin on the Lion will be able to support it a little bit. But the early round aggression looks like it's probably going to continue from Cyclops. And to be fair, they've had quite a lot of joy with it so far.
They have. Now, Black Ray, once again, is here ready and waiting, as you come to expect. I think he'll miss his opportunity this time as the man just about slipped past him a little bit too quick. Them legs carrying him away as fast as he can. But yes, he's been pretty good outside of getting spawn peeked out. Back in round 1, we saw him being very conservative outside this window. His role hasn't been very active. A lot of that has been on players like Coated. But I think in this round, with things changing, where Coated's now back on the Nomad, for example, they've got Woogieman on the Monty, this might be where you start to see him get more involved on the Iana.
Are going to be deploying the air jabs, at least for the time being, externally. I don't know if we're going to see any going in to support a plant as well to prevent anybody pushing back into Karaoke once Monty gets in there. Woogieman is going to start aggressing forward, looking to just try and activate the Banshee, I think, see if there's any opportunity to clear it out, but there won't be. The Selma charge will open the wall, but this time Ayagator is there with the impact nades to try and deny that from being done. It's likely still going to be achieved, but it's just burning more utility is the key.
Oh man, Ayagator's in such a rough spot. I was going to say, you've got the window, you've got Shrine Balk, you've got Monty on the other side. Just everything was working against you there. There's just no chance that you walk away alive. They can probably also shoot you across from inside of Shrine itself as well. So he was not going to be long for this world. Just caught in a bad spot and had no way of rotating back to safety. But a good pinch by Damwon Kia.
We're going to see the second Selma charge come in. I like the idea of that one, not risking trying to get it exactly underneath the last hole that was open, because of course you risk getting it a little bit wrong and leaving that bar across the middle. So just going off to one side, guaranteeing Woogieman's entrance into sight. Air jabs are continuing to go out to prevent the push coming back in through, and I don't see too much at the minute that is going to stop this plant going down, apart from the angle that Warden's holding through that soft wall into Karaoke.
The potential risk as well is that he can't go through with his shield up right now. now unless we have Katsang come up and open it up fully. I know that he had one Selma left. I don't know if they're intending to use it elsewhere at this point. Maybe to challenge in towards Geisha Box from the window, for example. But little things like that I'm looking at and just thinking it is a risk for the Monty to crouch his way through. Smoke is definitely going to help out on that front, but he was waiting for the response to come through here. There is a C4 in Suzushi's back pocket, which they didn't have back in round 2. So things are changing here. There are more threats to worry about.
I like the adaptation from Cyclops. Of course, the Warden being there specifically to watch that plant spot through the smoke, can see clearly once the glasses are activated, but there is still an opportunity potentially here as Woogieman goes in and is going to be taken out. 4v3 though, as Katsang manages to find Black Ray as well, but with 12 seconds left to go, Anaton needs to be dealt with here. Someone's going to have to swing and take this fight, but I'm not sure they know exactly where he's playing, and he manages to get himself a second. This could be critical to winning the round for Cyclops. Anaton has done the job for them, but Katsang, he manages to start getting the diffuser down to extend the clock, and Yas on the backstab finds a double and closes out the round, and it's another one for Damwon Kia.
3K from Yasser around. I said at the start, looking at the lineup, he's got to be more involved in this round. We saw him skulking around through Pantry, up main stairs, just taking every area of the map he could, because everyone on the side of Cyclops was so focused on this plant attempt going down, and why wouldn't you be? Damwon Kia in this game so far, I feel, have been pretty, not so much single-minded, but they've had one focus in a round. It's been behind the Blitz. It's been behind the Monty. That is the perfect way to bait them into it after 4 rounds, to then hit them on the flank with the backstab coming out of the Yana. Beautiful play, but also really good adaptation, like you said, coming out of Cyclops. They had the answer to the plan. Damwon Kia looked a little bit lost by it. They didn't know where the Warden was necessarily, but of course, Superman Yas saves the day.
That's it. The fact that Anaton picks up a second from the same angle tells you that Damwon Kia did not know exactly where he was playing from, and it was a nice attempt from Cyclops, but it didn't get the job done. 4-1 now for Damwon Kia on the attack, and Cyclops, they decide to go back down to Kitchen Barbecue, maybe feeling that they've got a bit of a better chance. If we look at our beautiful graphic down at the bottom there, the numbers done by Swaruni as always, of course, and we can see their regulation win, overtime win, any win for Damwon Kia puts them in the major, but more importantly for Cyclops, a regulation loss knocks them out of the running. They are done. Overtime loss, and they still only have a 6% chance. It's very unlikely. They go heavily reliant on other results at that point, but it at least keeps them in it. But at this point, it doesn't look like they're going to be going the full distance.
It's kind of a painful one as well, because Reject, I think, would still be in a chance of jumping over them at this point. It's going to be dicey no matter which way you look at it. Yas being the one to find the entry. Again, it's taken him a few rounds, but God has awakened. He's in the server, and he's picking up so many kills these last couple of rounds.
Certainly doing a job for Damwon Kia right now. It's not been too consistent that they've been getting the entry kill. They've had a few, but not all of them. But it just really hasn't mattered to Damwon Kia, whether they've started with man advantage, whether they've had to fight their way from behind. They seem to have had all the answers. Suzushi just unable to find the drone there, I think. Just misses a couple of shots with the Storm and will dip back away into Drum to await the onslaught that is likely to come across this top floor from Damwon Kia.
Well, we've seen this a million times before, haven't we, Tim? This battle around the top of Black Stairs with the Clash. I think having already lost the number, though, they're like, right, we haven't got a Wamai here. We have no way of catching nades. Let's get the hell out of Dodge. The smoke start coming on through. We've seen that a lot of times as well. Normally coming in from the Blitz. So for Kota to be across on the Twitch here just screams more firepower.
Bit of information obviously coming in there, and Black Ray eventually being closed down after a well-worked pinch between Rin and Coated there, just making it impossible for him to maintain his position inside of Dragon. And as you say, Anaton is in big trouble here, but Coated does get taken down by Gatorada, so that's at least one positive for Cyclops here. Alibi could find themselves stuck inside of Karaoke if not careful. 4 versus 3, 4 versus 2, you gotta win those fights, Gatorada.
Got to be asking why he's shooting at the kneecaps at that kind of range as well. Like, surely you're looking for the head, but nope, loses out. 2 remaining here, 1 being the Clash. And I know what I said earlier about being stuck in a 1v1 or a 1vx when there's a shield on the other side. It also sucks to be the one in the 1vx when you are the shield player, because you know you are getting absolutely bullied. 4 still remaining here for Damwon Kia, and Suzushi yet to find a kill to his name. One of those players that has really got to go big in the round to keep Cyclops in this game.
Suzushi just trying to find any angle that he can at the minute to win a gunfight in a 4v2. That's all you can hope for, is just trying to level up those numbers a little bit. Anaton, of course, on the Clash. Not ideal to have as one of your final 2. Half health and only with a machine pistol in hand to be able to take the fights. It's not going to make life any easier for them. Woogieman manages to find Suzushi, and it's all up to Anaton now.
I'm in danger. This is that exact kind of moment. 4 players bearing down Unusual, the shield operator. 15 seconds to go, but clearly they don't know where he is here. The drop comes through. 2 players are aware. Rin in with the closing kill. Damwon have got that magical ability that even when it looks like all hope is lost, they can pull rounds out of nothing.
That's the big problem when you're in the 1v4 like that. It's, you know, yes, you can get that first kill without them knowing where you are, but as soon as you get one, that is it. They have your position locked down, nailed down, and you know that you're going to come under fire very quickly thereafter, especially if you're on the defensive side of things. Cyclops deciding that they are under too much fire right now and taking a tactical timeout. Of course, they need to try and break the momentum. Of course, they need to try and slow Damwon down. The way Damwon are playing at the minute, even switching onto the defensive side, I don't see it happening. I don't think there is anything that you can realistically say in this tactical timeout that is going to drastically change the trajectory of this match.
It's one of those that comment I made before I threw over to you a second ago about Damwon just have that uncanny ability to win rounds that shouldn't be winnable. The number that have come down to the last 10 seconds, the last 3 seconds, where someone's scrambling to get the diffuser, or 2 of your planters have been killed, or you've lost critical players and someone's got to pull off a miracle play from red stairs. 3 or 4 rounds in this half. If you kind of froze the frame at, say, 10 seconds left, most would say, yeah, Damwon lose this round. Yet they've managed to pull it back. And we saw this against Talon earlier in the season as well. That was a really close game in the first half, and then Damwon just absolutely steamrolled them in the second. And that's a very unique ability I've got. And actually, it was something cameraman from FaZe was saying yesterday. He was throwing back to the game, as you can imagine, when they played in Sweden at the Major, when it was in the semi-final, down to round 15. Map 3 was an absolute blinder. And he was saying, you know, the thing with Damwon is against the teams in the region they don't get that much experience to play against big international teams to really pick things up. So in my mind, to see them at this level now already, knowing the kind of competition they have locally, is honestly unbelievable that they are as good as they are. Imagine when they get more of that experience in the region levels up around them. They're going to be terrifying. I said it yesterday, give it 12 months, they will win a major.
I've already said it, they're going to win Berlin.
I don't know about Berlin, but I think they can win a major.
I've already said it, and I'm going to double down on it. I'm going to triple. In fact, that's the third time now that I've said it. I'm going to triple down on it.
I think NA and LATAM are a bit too much at the minute, personally.
I'm going to stick by it. We'll see what happens with the Damwon side. It's interesting that you draw the point.
Can we stick a drink on it?
Of course we can.
You buy me a drink if they don't win.
I'll buy you a lemonade. I'll get you a tap water, not a problem. So you pick up on the fact that you pick up on the fact that they're winning rounds that they shouldn't win. You know, dare I say that this sort of could be the new BDS here, Des. You know, this is a trait.
That's where their power's gone. Right.
That's exactly it, maybe. We've had a transference of power from EU to APAC, and that was a trait that was very much BDS at a point. You know, yes, the round would fall apart a bit, and then Shaiko and Ranshiro would just run into a site and destroy everybody, and that'd be the end of the round.
Yep.
And like you say, Damwon are very much bringing that, and it is so difficult to play against.
Real shithousery energy. I absolutely love it when you can just pull things out of nothing. But we need to focus a bit on this round, Tim, because we are in a site that we didn't see in the entire first half and very rarely see around the world at all. Yep, absolutely. We saw it out of, I think it was Team Secret, I want to say, where they played Mirror in here and used to, in fact, no, they weren't defending this site. They were playing in this area of the map to play Mirror downstairs and deny vertical nades being used to blow out, for example, bandit tricking on the wall above. Now, upstairs, that's where the focus is going to start. You want that vertical control before you even start thinking about the downstairs. If you've watched any map of Siege before, you'll know this is how it goes. You're defending on the downstairs, you want to hold in the upstairs to deny all the vertical control. Attackers have to get that before they can worry about playing on the downstairs, else you die to vertical holes. Black Ray with yet another entry in the game, is third, I think, as well now. This one coming onto Katsang. That's 3 unique scalps that he has taken away from Damwon into a second as well. The demon of the side entrance here, Iagator, and the Black Ray a third. This is looking like an all Cyclops round here, Tim.
Certainly is. Yas manages to get one onto Iagator. If anybody can do it, we know that it's this man. He's going to start pushing forward, but Gatorada's getting that diffuser down, so time is now limited. Nade comes out to prevent Yas's push forward, and just nicely done. A quick throw means that there's a long fuse on it, and it just delays him for as long as possible, allowing the planter to hop out of sight as well afterwards. So Yas really has his work cut out for him here, taking damage as he comes in, challenged by the Maverick. It's going to be Sasushi. He's going to be hungry for that final kill now, knowing exactly where he is. We see him try to throw the nade, but gets eaten up by an ADS, does not come forward. forward, but this is terrible for Yas. Every angle that he peeks into, somebody is watching a pixel. There's one in the bathtub. They are everywhere. Suzushi finds the final kill, takes Yas down, and that's going to be Cyclops getting their first attacking round.
Yeah, really good round, I think, there. A lot of it off blackray just bursting his way in towards the side entrance as well. And I think at that point, I didn't see the players of Kane rotating from the downstairs, but there was clearly quite a bit of movement still going on for the defenders there of Damwon Kia, and just got completely blindsided by the fact that he got into what is a pretty normal entry point for this building as well, and for this site in particular. When I get in house side, you're going through side entrance, but clearly wasn't really expecting him to be there, and he picks off 3 kills for himself. That's going to end the round no matter which way you look at it.
We've got a clash. Woogieman bringing along the shield, see if it can have any more of an effect than when Anaton brought it along. It wasn't able to really secure any rounds. There was one round won when Anaton played it, but
they had no idea he was there at this point.
I don't think the clash was completely instrumental. We'll see this round. blackray having a great round there, just sneaking in from that side entrance, picking up one after another. There you go. It's Ayagator who finally gets that kill, but then he manages to get one onto Rin as well. Beautiful play from blackray.
Yeah. I think the first kill came through as well in towards the coach X side of things, and they didn't assume he'd rotate into side entrance so quick, which is why the mute was nearly caught completely off guard. And maybe all things equal in that third gunfight, losing that one out in what feels like probably the more balanced of the 3 fights. Bit of a kicker for you. Let's see how things go, though. That was the air quotes offsite. Tim, I know it's been their go-to starting one. Maybe they were trying to catch Cyclops by surprise, but instead got caught very heavily by surprise by blackray.
Rin just trying to use Aruni's Mark 14 marksman rifle to pick out the head of blackray, just trying to bring that aggression that Cyclops were able to benefit from a few times, but unable to find the kill. Suzushi just aware for the potential of a run out as well before he starts working on this wall with the blowtorch. Just going to burn a hole in the top, that'll allow a nade to go in, clear out any utility behind. There goes the battery, and they'll be able to get that wall opened up and start moving into reception. The Selma charge does exactly that. Second nade goes out, that's just to make sure that the bandit's not playing behind there looking for the trick, which they weren't. Yas going to dip back downstairs, and that is reception gained for Cyclops.
Good stuff. Yeah, this one should feel a bit more clear-cut in a way for Damwon Kia. They're in a much more comfortable site, one of the much more standard ones that gets played here. But Cyclops, like you say, starting out on reception side is an interesting one. Look at this exhibition, sorry, they changed that last second, I didn't even write it down. I'm changing that in my notes. Thank you. In terms of how things are going then, sorry, the reception side, yeah. They've got this hole coming out towards the west-hand side here. Still got that hole coming inside of Dragon and Terrace that we're very used to seeing. It's either kind of the reverse. You're defending Karaoke T, you extend out towards Exhibition. You're defending Exhibition, you extend out towards Karaoke T. It is just such a common thing that we're so used to seeing here, and for Cyclops it's about getting that sweep across here in good time. Half the round's gone, they've got that west side control here. I'd say they're still in good pace with that Monty.
blackray just going to be pushing forward behind the Monty there. Of course, you really do always need somebody to work in conjunction with the shield, because obviously
someone's got to get the kills, Tim.
Exactly that. Monty's ability is limited. You're almost an extension of the Montagna with that information that's being fed back out. Now then, here's an interesting one for you. Clash and Monty head-to-head. Who wins? It's always going to be Clash, because the electricity does deal damage to the Monty through his shield, so there is no protection from that Clash. It is a nice little counter, and it's a nice way to deal with it. And the fact that they've been brought along really does say that they've predicted that Monty's presence. Suzushi looking to challenge from Dragon Window as Katsang trades out on a kill to Gatorada picked up, and that leaves us now in a 4v4.
It's just this shield war, isn't it? They're like battleships, and everything else around them is just a fighter trying to assist and keep the main force alive, but these kind of shields staring each other down. In fact, one rotates up towards north side now, so a Shrine push coming in from Cyclops here. Quite a fast rotate off, as they're aware that Clash being inside of Terrace is too much of a threat. They've bypassed him here entirely, flanked them off. Do they know about the shield to the side? Caught it last second, but Kota gets the kill. C4 over the top, won't quite kill the Monty, but sent down to about half HP at this point. Suzushi into another, a 3v3 ensues.
Courted is low health, which is definitely a factor. Ayagator taking damage from the Clash. Ayagator taking damage from Woogieman. Courted manages to find Anaton and a second, and that's going to be Damwon Kia taking the round and taking themselves on to match point.
Oh, it's just not a good day for Ayagator or Suzushi. That kill then should have been an absolute freebie onto the bar, but didn't find the man, got caught reloading, got torn asunder. Damwon Kia will not let you get away with small slip-ups like that. They moved themselves up to 6-2, and despite Cyclops looking at least competitive in that round, they had the right idea. They were rotating the Monty away. It's good play coming out of Cyclops, but Damwon Kia are just on a different level, Tim.
Certainly are at the minute. Like you say, they're sort of playing 4D chess here, while Cyclops are stuck on checkers, and Damwon just absolutely dominating right now. 6-2, and they just have the answer to almost everything. I think the thing when I look at this Damwon lineup, Des, it's not a lineup. Sometimes you look at a lineup and you think, oh, you know, maybe they could make an improvement on a fragger, or maybe they could make an improvement on support, or, you know, you see these gaps in teams sometimes. But I look at Damwon and it's just the roster, the lineup is so loaded, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, that's what makes the team scary as well. You can look at TSM are a wonderful example, right, where I think of their front three all being prolific fraggers that you can rotate around on a day. Look at the backline as well, more towards like Geo and Charla. Charla's had some mega games. I think 20+ kills he dropped on Theme Park once as well. And this is the thing, every single player, it sounds probably better when you put it this way, every player is 20% of a team's capability. If you have one player that's not quite there on the day or isn't really fit for the rest of the team, you're potentially losing a lot of power, and then the collective pull down that has on everyone else because they've got to kind of backfill. It can really affect the team, but in Damwon, you just don't see that weakness at the minute where any player feels particularly out of sorts. Sure, Woogieman's 4-4, but would you say he's had a bad game? Absolutely not. He's been on shields for most of it.
Sushi's just going to apply the Ossa shield to the window at the bottom of Black Stairs. Going to potentially stop any rotations from defenders if anybody's playing underneath particularly. Damwon are playing this fairly passively. They're not getting too aggressive. Cyclops were right up at the doorways trying to stop Damwon getting inside of the map, but that's not been as much of the case here. Ayagator is going to be able to sneak in underneath on the knock. We'll see whether he can get onto one of those flanks or not. We did see Yas have a big impact from Red Stairs. Maybe going to be looking for similar out of the stealthy attacker there, but for the time being the focus has got to be opening the wall up, and right now Ayagator is going to try to assist with that from underneath.
What I like is how much flexibility Cyclops have got in this comp as well, right? It's not like a single-minded focus. It's got the Ossa on side for the big execute. Interestingly, not Anatom playing that here because he's going on to the MK14 to KB instead. We've got the knock, the potential backstab coming out of Ayagator. The only thing I'm slightly nervous about with that is Ayagator hasn't been going massive this game. He's going to have to hit them hard on the flank and get a couple of kills before he's really noticed, I think. Otherwise, that could be a really ineffectual pick.
BlackRay's just going to continue working underneath. I think he's just waiting for anybody who's trying to play onto that wall, make it difficult, like you say, now moving the nades underneath as well. We'll see whether Ayagator manages to have any success here. We're just waiting for the trigger to be pulled. It's not going to do any damage.
Very good. Down to about 5 HP. Does a lot of damage, but no kills, Tim, in this case. Yeah, just one of those that you don't really see the big explosion from. However, Katsang now knows, okay, I can't really stick there anymore. I am dead to rights. A single bullet's going to knock me over. Good nade coming in towards sight here. Again, more chip damage coming down, this time onto Coated as Katsang does finally fall to another nade. So good vertical play being used by Cyclops to soften up the members of Damwon Kia. But now you're asking, all right, this is where the Ossa has got to shine. So let's see what Suzushi can do.
The big problem could be time here. 35 seconds left to go. Still got Wookieman on the warden. They need to start thinking about getting in and getting a plant, and that is really going to help them. BlackRay managing to take down Coated. Yas finds Ayagator 4v3. 20 seconds left to go. And Wookieman with a big kill to level things up. Anatom finds the warden, though. That's a big play. Suzushi able to get inside a site and start putting that diffuser down behind the Ossa shield is going to be successful. Rim manages to get Anatom from underneath. Yas is low health, though. That's something to remember, as is Suzushi. Now then, a trade-off on the Black Stairs, but not managing to find a kill onto the Iana just yet, but Rin does. 2v1. There's only one left inside. Suzushi behind the shield. This should be dealt with. They've just got to push together, Des.
Exactly. They know where the Ossa is as well. They saw them on the ping earlier on getting the plant into this. Soon they've gone out the window, for example, or what? There we go. The 2v1 coming through. Rin with another 3k as well. Big game overall. I'll give it to both teams, played incredibly well, but Damwon Kia, most importantly, locked their spot into the Berlin Major.
You got a feel for Suzushi there, trying to hold on to that plant. Yes, you could think, stay in behind your shield, don't peek. But if the opportunity's there, it's 2v1. If he gets pushed from both sides, it's game over. He sees somebody, I've got to take my opportunity. If it goes to a 1v1, then that is a 1v1 that you should be winning. But you got to feel for him. Difficult position and ultimately loses out the gunfight. Cyclops, tough day today. They find themselves out of the running. They're going to have a nice breakthrough, August. They're not going to be going to the major. Damwon Kia, however, they're going to need to start preparing now.
Cyclops may well welcome the break because they've been to basically every single event in the last year or so as well. It's definitely not a bad time to have a little bit of a rest, but I don't think the scoreline necessarily reflects how well Cyclops played that as well. I do think they had some really, really good rounds, some great aggression, not being afraid of Damwon Kia, but sadly, you've matched up against the best in the league today.
Simple as that, and we've shown it, we've seen it, we know why, because they've just had the answer to every problem, and that is the key to winning rounds and games in Siege.
Like I say, being able to find those rounds where you've got 5 seconds on the clock, it looks like you're going to lose, and then to still win, that's what makes a champion, ladies and gents. We'll see how they do at the Major. For now, we'll go to a quick break. When we come back, the desk have got this one for you. Stop it.